called a serial entrepreneur, maybe?
All the woodworking stuff I'd ever done, I was kind of just playing
And
around.
you get to buy more tools.
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and what's a better way if they do have to cut it down is to make it full circle, turn it into a table, turn it into a piece of furniture. And I can kind of help bring that all the way into full circle.
Well, today I have Justin Steckman, the owner of Axe and Honor.
Yes, sir.
And we'll get into what that is here in a minute.
Absolutely.
But, you work in the fire service.
Yes, sir.
And I guess, they're called a serial entrepreneur, maybe?
I don't know about serial, but I guess
you've owned a lot of businesses.
I've owned, well, I should say I've owned one really big one. Yeah. And then things didn't go as what I planned with it. And, but I think that entrepreneurial spirit never dies.
Oh, it doesn't. No, it's habit forming, and you're always what's next and that kind of thing. So where are you from?
I was raised in Carnegie, Oklahoma, out west. After that, I went to college at Southwestern, got an undergraduate degree there. Then after that, I moved up to the city to run a company out of Texas. Met my wife. And
life changes.
And that same time frame when I was in college in Weatherford, 9/11 happened. So I was sitting on the couch, that morning with my roommate, and he's just like, "You're not going to believe what's going on. Look at this." And after the second plane flew into the other tower and they started talking about terrorism, I told my roommate, I was like, "I'm going to go join the military."
Oh, wow. Okay, a sudden burst of patriotism.
Oh,
boy.
It's amazing, where we sit today, and some of the younger generation we talk to, they weren't even alive during 9/11. It's like it's etched in our brains because it was such a big, impactful time, and so my roommate kind of laughed and said, "You're just being patriotic right now." But I did. I wanted to stay in college, so I went and joined the National Guard. As soon as they opened the recruiting offices, because they had them locked down for like 2 weeks, I walked in the recruiter and said, "All right, well, here's my stuff. I want in." So.
Wow. And so, were you ever deployed, or were you stateside?
No. I did 3 different deployments. One was right after I got back from basic training in AIT. My unit got deployed to go to Fort Sill for almost a year to do force protection, because at that time we were still making sure nothing else would happen. So they built up all the security around the bases. So I did that for almost a year, and then back to college, and then started my professional career after that. Then Katrina hit.
We just lived from one disaster to the next. Yeah.
And then we went down to Katrina and helped out for what they initially told us was going to be a week or 2 weeks, turned out to be like a month and a half.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it was very eye-opening. And then later down the road, we got deployed to go to Ramadi, Iraq. And we were in Ramadi, Iraq for a year, almost a year.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, so you got deep in it there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then later down the road, my wife decided, you want babies, these deployments got to stop.
Yeah.
So we made the decision. After 12 years, I got out of the military.
Wow. And then you started more businesses.
Well,
or did you go back to school? Or what?
During that, before the Iraq deployment, I went to SNU and got a degree, my master's degree in business. Did at that time, I think they call it the adult programs, or were just kind of developing. So I'd work all day and then go down there and go to class. Got a master's degree. I was going to take on the business world.
Really? Yeah. Well, that validates being an entrepreneur. You have a master's degree.
Well, I think it does, but it was a good education, and I learned a lot. In the HR side of things, things that's tough to learn as a small business owner.
I learned it by doing it.
Yeah. And then I kind of find that there's so much you think you know a whole lot until you actually do it. And like, well,
Those
They
numbers
didn't-
actually mean something.
Yeah, oh, they don't teach you about workman's comp and in a master's degree in business. They don't ever talk about that.
No.
So
Wow. All right. In just a minute, we'll come back and we're gonna talk to Justin about his Axe and Honor company. Stay tuned.
Community. That's what F&M Bank is all about. Being a family-owned and operated community bank for over 120 years ensures we have strong roots in our community, relationships, and financial foundation. Our staff has long-standing relationships with our customers and can provide a personalized service to enhance our banking products, whether it's a home mortgage, business loan, personal or business banking services, personal loans, and more. Our objective is to serve our customers to the best of our ability and to be part of the growth and prosperity of our region. We are here to serve our neighbors. How may we help you? F&M Bank Kingfisher, serving generations of Oklahomans.
All right, we're back. Justin, so you cut down trees.
Yeah.
What made you think you were good at that?
well, I mean, it's a bit of a long rounded story, but I mean, I think it's relevant. About the 2019, 2020 timeframe, COVID hit. And at that time I was working for a company that sold natural gas to drilling rigs and frac crews. They kept me on as long as they could through COVID. And then all of a sudden, about that time I was laid off. I'd never been laid off from a job in my life, and my wife was like, well, what are you gonna do?
Now what?
Now what? And she kind of figured I'd go get another sales job in the corporate world somewhere. And I said, I want to join the fire service. She said, well, you're too old. And I said, well, you're probably too right. At that time I was 39.
Well, and it's very physical too.
It is. And so I went and got my certifications. She's always been a rock, stood behind me with what I wanted to do. And also at that time, being laid off, COVID, I noticed some of my PTSD stuff that I had issues with from back in the military service. As a big tough guy, I talked to my wife and talked to my primary care and started getting some help. And then I reached out to a buddy that was deployed with me, and I knew he had been through some of the same things, but he addressed them sooner. And I said, what do you do to deal with everything? And he says, well, I like to do something that keeps my mind and my hands busy. He said, that is the best therapy, and do something with an end goal. And then I started talking to my wife about it. And so I started dabbling in woodworking. I'm laid off at this time, not a whole lot to do except be a stay-at-home teacher, which I'm not good at. There's no way I can be a stay-at-home teacher, especially with your own kids. So I started dabbling with woodworking. I built a little bit here, a little bit there, and I was like, man, I really enjoy this. I get out there in my shop, I keep my hands busy, my mind's focused. This is great. I feel good at the end of the day. I have an end product.
You still have most of your fingers?
I do. I've had a couple instances, but for the most part, we're still good. And my wife decided she wanted me to make her a walnut table for our living room, like a big one, like an 8 foot by almost 5 foot. And I said, she would like the live edge tables. I said, I think I can do that. Mm-hmm. So at that time we went and acquired the wood, we found some slabs, and away I went, epoxy and the whole 9 yards. And I got done. Everybody started saying, well, you're really good at that. Okay. Started doing more and more and more. And then, at this time, I've been hired in the fire service. Great career, love it. Mm-hmm. But it affords me a lot of time off, We work a schedule that, you have a lot of days off, and you can sit at home and watch TV and twiddle your thumbs, or you can
go do something.
Yeah. And that entrepreneurial spirit, we talked about, kind of came back. All the woodworking stuff I'd ever done, I was kind of just playing around.
And you get to buy more tools.
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and that's one thing my wife cringes about. But yes, I get to buy more tools. Mm-hmm. And I realized, I'm buying these big slabs to do these tables. I'm paying, $800, $1,200, a slab just to do, a portion of the table. And that's not even if I need 2 of them to put together. And I was like, man, I wish I could do this myself. I wish I could cut it up myself. and that entrepreneurial spirit
There we
started
go.
kicking in,
Add
you
on.
know, and
Yeah.
and so fast forward a little bit more, and I started talking to some guys that had tree companies, because I thought, well, what's a better place to go to get my slabs than these guys at tree companies? And they started telling me, you know, how busy they're always 30 jobs behind, you know, and how, you know, they just go, 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 go. And I was like, all of a sudden lights started coming. And then so I thought, well, if I get a sawmill, I could mill up my own wood, but I need heavy equipment to move the logs around. So
More
then I need a skid steer. And then I was like, why don't I just start my own tree company?
There you go.
You know, I can make it all into one, because some people will have this tree in their backyard that, you know, may start dying, or there may be issues with it, and they're like, man, I don't want to. This hurts to let this.
It means something.
Yeah, you know.
My grandfather planted it or
Yeah,
something.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, what's a better way if they do have to cut it down is to make it full circle, turn it into a table, turn it into a piece of furniture. And I can kind of help bring that all the way into full circle, you know? And sometimes they may say, hey, we don't want you to build the table, just cut up the wood for us. And we may want to do it ourselves, which is fine, you know? And I kind of help people like that, kind of guide them through the process, what they need to do next. And I mean, it makes me feel good, because I'm helping them in one way. I'm, you know, making a little bit of money, you know, help pay my crew, and then, you know, it's a good feeling. It is really a good feeling, you know. And not every tree is you know, capable of being turned into furniture. You know, some wood is more coveted than others, but it's just such a good feeling.
Well, it's kind of neat you close the loop. You know, a lot of tree companies, they just cut the tree down, grind it up, and take the rest of the dump.
Yeah, and that's,
you kind of finish that circle.
I mean, I've talked to so many of the tree company guys who have said, hey, we, you know, just haul it off to a burn pit and burn it. And I'm like, well, what if you have a big old walnut tree? Like, take it to the burn pit and burn it. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Yep.
I talked to a guy the other day who cut down he said the base of the silver maple was like 48 inches. And they cut it down and chipped it up. And I couldn't, it hurt to hear that. You know, and so if I can help bring that full circle, you know, and there's just sometimes, you know, we're just doing tree trimming jobs, you know, and it may not be anything major that's getting cut down, but, you know, storm damage, stuff like that.
Well, and you do it all. I mean, you're not just harvesting to build tables. You do, I'm reading off your card here, tree trimming and removal. Skid steer services, so like I guess picking up brush and things like that, as well as dirt
land
work,
clearing, forestry mulching. You know, some guys have a big pasture full of cedar trees that they need removed. So I do some of that. I mean, if I can stay busy at it, and I can help somebody out, and I can, you know, make some money and do good things, then we'll do it.
And then you can finish it with stump grinding.
Yes, sir.
Which is, you know, I've got a whole bunch of stumps this high in my yard.
Yep.
I just let them rot off.
Yeah,
But it'd be
and
nice to get rid of them.
it's kind of crazy, because in the winter months like this, you know, is when we get slower. So all the way through the end of March, I offer, if I remove the tree, I'll grind the stump for free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then brush hogging, and then forestry mulching. Do you have a mulcher?
Yes, I got a mulching head for the skid steer. That's where I was talking about the cedar
you
trees.
grind it up?
Yeah, it just
Okay.
drive up to it and grind it down to nothing.
And what is hydro seeding?
Hydro seeding is something that I'm going to get into in the spring. It was planned when I first started this business. I got into it in late summer, so it's kind of out of the season. But like, that's if you have a yard and you say you bought a new house and they just sod it around the yard, and you're like, well, I can't afford to sod the rest of the yard. Well, hydro seeding is a way to go in there and spray the seed and the mulch together.
You can put a green color in it.
And it basically starts your grass seed immediately, and it starts growing from there. And it's a much more economical way
I've seen them do that on right-of-ways.
They do a lot of it on right-of-ways, because slopes are, you know, it's hard to get that. This stuff will stick to a slope, and then they'll start growing from there.
Wow, very cool. This is exciting.
It is
All
very
right.
exciting. It's scary, but it's exciting.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see. We probably have to have you come back, or we'll come to your shop and see some of the stuff that you've made.
Yeah.
And I know you've taken lots of pictures and things like that. And we'll put your contact information up across here so people know how to reach you.
That'd be great.
And Justin's the guy. Axe and Honor.
Yeah.
Veteran owned.
Veteran.
Very,
Fire
very cool.
service. Yep.
Fantastic. Justin, nice speaking with you today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jack.
All right. Stay tuned.